Hello, everybody. Linda, aka the Gamer Girl, here, and I went to Albuquerque, New Mexico. So, the first store that I went to was a store called We Know Games, and it's a quaint little store. It is located on a busy street, so parking is a little hard to find. And when I walked in, they were having a Smash Bros. Tournament. And it looks like they have a lot of tournaments, so if you're in Albuquerque or near Albuquerque, check it out. It's a place to go. And the one thing I liked about it was it had a mixture of its actual store plus an arcade inside. So when you go in, it's a collection of games that is mostly Xbox 360, Xbox. Current gen is what they usually have. They have a small selection of retro games, and it's mostly NES. So that's the one thing I like about it is it's very clearly marked. Everything is there, and they do have a small selection of movies. So when you walk in, you're looking around. You don't feel overwhelmed like at a couple other stores that I've been to. I liked it. It was open, airy. The staff were really cool. They had a bunch of board games, magic cards, and so here is the look at the. It's a tiny arcade, but it's still good. Some of the machines were down, but that's okay. And then they had a couple of multi arcades. Here's a Miss Pac-Man. I was loving that Pac-Man, the one that you sit down. And here is their collection for D&D and Magic and a whole bunch of other games. Like they had Yu-Gi-Oh. You name it, they had it. I like that. And so they had a glass case right next to the middle where the expensive games are. And as you take a look, here is a look at a beautifully done Indiana Jones cabinet. They take care of their cabinets and their pinball machines. I loved it. I loved looking at it. There's a Street Fighter, there's R-Type, and so here's the cabinet right next to the register. This is all the pricey games, the rare games. So there was a couple that surprised me in there. I haven't seen Adventures of Tom Sawyer in a long time. And then there was a multi-cart for Super Nintendo that I saw that was really, really good. If you take a look at it, it's pricey though. They wanted $200 for a multi-cart, demo cart, and then there was the World of Champions and stuff like that. And they had a bunch of systems that were boxed, and in the back also. And there it is. There's the multi-cart that they wanted $200 for. I was not paying that. That's too much. And so they had a small section of Sega. It was all together. It was really tiny. There was the 32X, the Sega CD. All of them, the Genesis, were put together on one cart. And then the back is where all the stuff is, like the handhelds and everything like that. And there is a bunch of rare like displays that you can't find anymore, and another like there's Risk and board games that they had that I liked. And then NES, there's a whole section of NES and 64. And then if you turn to your right, here's the small section of Genesis again, the loose carts. And there's like the sports titles, Family Feud. And so here's the other side. Here's some more handhelds. Here's the other rare Genesis games. And look at, there's Three Ninjas, Kickback. They wanted $80 for that game. That game is not worth $80. Some of these games, they're a little overpriced, but it's a good store. And so I moved on to the second game store that's really close by also. It's called Gamers Anonymous. I can't even talk right now. It's a tongue twister. And this one's a little bit smaller than the first one. And as you walk in, there's a glass case for all the super rare, very expensive titles also. And there was one that I couldn't find that I saw in the wild a little bit. It's Taifu. And that's a game that I can never find in the wild, but I don't want it. And if you're ever in the area and you're like, I really want that game, pick it up. I never see that. And so here's Night Trap. They do have some limited run games in there. So it was funny to see that. And so then you kept looking. They put a Splatoon hat on him. That's hilarious. And the one thing I like about this store is they have a employee recommend shelf and a bargain bin in the middle. It was a bunch of games, and I couldn't pass this up because there's a bunch of sports titles that I wanted, and I didn't want to pay a pretty penny for a sports title for a Game Gear game. And they have a decent selection of Xbox, PS4, all that. And I like the one thing is they have Rock Band stuff and, Guitar Hero stuff. And they had a really beautiful Master System collection here. If you take a look, the Master System collection is on point. And they had a box in the back. So you have to go to the employee and ask, hey, give me the box in the back of the Master System games. It's a ridiculously full box. And I can now say that I have met Danny DeVito's cutout. I am officially in love with Danny DeVito's cutout. I took a picture with it. That's the thumbnail as you saw. It is hilarious. And so I walked in on another tournament, a Smash Bros tournament was going on also at the same thing. Like, I don't know if they planned it and it's in the back, but it was really pretty cool to see that both of them were doing Smash Bros tournament at the same time. And so here you go. Here is another section of games and stuff like that. Now, I did pick up from the bargain bin. I got Evander Holyfield, California Games, Black Bass, the Winter Olympics, and Fred Couples Golf. It was 5 for $10, so really, really awesome bargain for that. You couldn't beat it. That's why I was like, I'm not going to pass up on that. And then from the other store, I did pick up Chip and Dale, Family Feud, and Rollerblade Racer. That is so 80s that I don't see that in a while that much, and I pick it up all the time. So thank you guys for watching. If you're new, please subscribe, and as always, keep on gaming, everybody. Peace, love, rock and roll, and video games. I'm out. Bye.